malaika, nakupenda malaika, ningekuwa maliwe, ningekuwa dada.
Hello guys, my name is Katlehong and welcome to my channel. Today I'm breaking down Miriam Makeba, Mamo Miriam, Makulu Miriam. To be honest, I don't know how to introduce this lady. She's so big, but let's get into it. Okay guys, like as I was saying, Tijango Miriam, Mamo Miriam or Makulu Miriam. My goodness, there's so much about this lady, her strength. I was so surprised to find out the things that I found out about her. But my goodness, a biopic is well deserved. Like multiple, not just one. A series must be made about this lady, okay? About this lady's life. There's already a documentary, Mama Africa or The Queen of Africa. A play, like, nah. I mean, not enough about her is said and what she's accomplished and how she paved the way for so many people, okay? Because she was like going all around the world, representing South Africa, the Xhosa tribe. I am Xhosa, so I was like, oh my God, she be clicking overseas. Okay, so, I'm just girl fanning this phenomenal woman. But let's get to it, guys. I mean, there's a lot I could say. I'm just starstruck and I'm just mumbling over my words because there's just so much about her. So what a phenomenal woman. What a striking icon. This woman is so strong. She's so resilient, so humble, so polite. Okay, in her interviews, I just fell in love with her. She was so graceful and dearly beloved by the country and by her fellow men and all who knew her and of her music. I could say that except for the white supremacists, because they banned her from the country. She was exiled by the apartheid government, but we'll get to that, okay? But now let's just start about the, light things. Huma Sekela, guys, spoke highly of her dressing style. She looked so amazing, my gosh. I mean, we're going to talk about Huma Sekela and Mamo Miriam Makeba. I didn't know, guys, that there was something between them, but okay. So I just want to say a few things before, I get to it. I mean, I already said that she was not allowed in the country. Her passport was revoked by the apartheid government. Belafonte, I didn't know she knew so many big people. Belafonte fell in love with her. I didn't know he met her when he saw her on stage singing. And he was taken by her. Belafonte is so gorgeous. Oh, that man is so handsome. Her records were banned since 1962. People were only allowed to play them in private. Miriam married her friend Huma Sekela in New York in 1964. It lasted for 2 years. But they say, they were like brother and sister, so I don't know how that worked out, but we'll get into it. I don't know what you guys think about that. She was close to every African, okay? When I was looking at her documentary and her interviews and her singing, this woman, she was not prejudiced at all. She sang so many songs in many different languages, and she didn't just speak English and isiXhosa. She spoke other. I was just like, which language is this? Is she speaking Swahili? I think because she was exiled for 30 years, so maybe she learned when she was exiled about other people's cultures. So she was beloved, ne? In June 1990, 4 months after Mandela was released from prison, Miriam returned to South Africa after 30 years in exile. We're going to get into that, okay? She came back and her parents had died. So sad. And still had her brother, though. The first thing she did when she came back home, she went to her mother's grave and she sat and talked to her mom. Oh, this part just broke me. She said, I felt like I was sitting on my mother's lap. Oh my God. And I told her I was sorry to see her, oh my God, and I quote, her daughter wrote some of her songs, so her daughter was very talented. So her last concert was on the 9th of November 2008. So let's get to it, guys. Let's get to know who Miriam Makeba is, okay? So Zenzile Miriam Makeba was born on the 4th March 1932 in the Black Township of Prospect near Johannesburg, as the only child of her father and the sixth of her mother. Her Xhosa father, Caswell Makeba, was a teacher. He died when she was 6 years old. Her Swazi mother, Christina Makeba, was a domestic worker. She had previously separated from her first husband and met and married Caswell shortly afterwards. Makeba later said that before she was conceived, her mother had been warned that any future pregnancy could be fatal. Neither Miriam nor her mother seemed likely to survive after a difficult labor and delivery. Miriam's grandmother, who attended the birth, often muttered "Uzenzile." Oh, a closer word, which that means you brought this unto yourself. So Miriam's mother, during her recovery, which inspired her to give her the daughter the name Zenzile, which you brought into yourself. Oh, this is the thing about, I don't know, like African families or African mothers and fathers, they always name their children after Sganeko. I'm not sure about other cultures. They might be doing the same thing too, but they always name their children after events, If maybe someone died in the family, they would name their child Comfort because that child is a source of comfort. And I think this is the case in the case of Miriam. When Makeba was 18 days old, her mother was arrested and sentenced to a 6-month prison term for selling umqombothi, a homemade beer brewed from malt and cornmeal. Isn't that crazy that these people were just arrested for just making beer? Anyways, it just makes me feel some type of way. But anyways, you tell me what you guys think. The family could not afford the small fine required to avoid a jail term, and Miriam spent the first 6 months of her life in jail. By the time of her mother's release from prison, Makeba's father, who had been having difficulty finding work as a teacher, he had obtained a job as a clerk at the Shell Oil Company in Nelspruit. You go, daddy, or grandpa, or great-grandpa, because he's older than me, now, Mbombela. And the family moved along with him accordingly. After her father's death, she moved to the house of her maternal grandmother in Riverside Township outside of Pretoria, along with her siblings and cousins, while her mother worked for white families in Johannesburg to support the family. As a child, Makeba sang in the choir of the Kilnerton Training Institute in Pretoria, an all-black Methodist primary school that she attended for 8 years. Her talent for singing earned her praise at school. Makeba was baptized a Protestant and sang in church choir. I sang in a church choir too, guys. I was not good though. Miriam was way better. In English, Xhosa, Sotho, and Zulu. She later said that she learned to sing in English before she could speak the language. Makeba was influenced by her family's musical taste. Her mother played several traditional instruments, and her elder brother collected records, including those of Duke Ellington and Ella Fitzgerald, and taught Makeba songs. Her father played the piano and sang in a group called the Mississippi 12, and his musical inclination was later a factor in Makeba's family accepting what was seen as a risque choice of career. Isn't that the case for many artists? Like, our families just think of that. Like, you never know with artistry. Makeba left school to support her family and first worked as a live-in nanny for a Greek family in Johannesburg suburb of Waverley for 3 months. The mother stopped paying her and went to the police to accuse her of stealing, so Makeba fled back to her grandmother's home in Riverside. Around that time, Makeba's mother began the process of becoming a sangoma, or a traditional healer, which required her to go back to her ancestral homeland in Eswatini, then was known as Swaziland. Makeba stayed behind, working as a launderer for expatriate workers to support her families. In 1949, Makeba married James Kube. Okay, this woman married, I think she married 4 times, guys. She married a lot. Comment below if you've married more than 1 time and tell me what that's like. Because, okay. A policeman in training with whom she had her only child, Sibongile Bungi Makeba, in 1950. Makeba was then diagnosed with breast cancer, and her husband, who was said to have beaten her, left her shortly afterwards after a 2-year marriage. How sad. Domestic violence was not good, guys. A decade later, she overcame cervical cancer via hysterectomy. Early career, Makeba began her professional musical career. Ooh, now we're going to the artist with the Cuban Brothers, a South African all-male close harmony group with whom she sang covers of popular American songs. Soon afterwards, at the age of 21, she joined the jazz group, the Manhattan Brothers. Is it me, guys, or do you guys also love the Manhattan Brothers? Like, I love, like, their music is so soulful. Woo! I love them. Like, that old music is just, goosebumps and all that good stuff. Okay, who sang a mixture of South African songs and pieces from popular African American groups. Makeba was the only woman in the group. With the Manhattan Brothers, she recorded her first hit, La Kuchona Ilang. Ooh, I love that song. Oh my God. La Kuchoni Langa Dakutinga Gawe Zakubuhi Komu. Oh, is it me? Oh, guys, I love that song. Okay, let's move on. That was in 1953 and developed a national reputation as a musician. In 1956, she joined a new all-woman group, the Skylarks, singing a blend of jazz and traditional South African melodies. Formed by Gallatin Records, the group was also known as the Sunbeams. Makeba sang with the Skylarks when the Manhattan Brothers were traveling abroad. Later, she also traveled with the Manhattan Brothers in the Skylarks. Makeba sang alongside Rhodesia-born musician Dorothy Masuka, whose music Makeba had followed, along with that of Dolly Khatebe. Several of the Skylarks pieces from this period became popular. The music historian Bob Allingham later described the group as real trendsetters with harmonizations that had never been heard before. Oh, good Lord. Makeba received no royalties from her work with the Skylarks. How sad. And many musicians don't receive their royalties. It's such a sad thing. I feel like all of us should be lawyers. Ugh. While performing with the Manhattan Brothers in 1955, Makeba met Nelson Mandela, which we all know. And if you don't know, where have you been living under a rock? Come out. And then a young lawyer. Matiba was a lawyer. He knew the struggle. He later remembered the meeting and that he left that the girl he met was going to be someone. With the Manhattan Brothers, Makeba recorded La Kuchoni Langa. It's like the sunset, which by Meke Davashe. I hope I said his surname right. The song's popularity prompted requests for an English version. In the 1956, Gallatin Records released Lovely Lies, Makeba's first solo success and first recording in English. However, the Xhosa lyric about a man looking for his beloved in jails and hospitals was replaced with the unrelated and innocuous line, "You tell such lovely lies with your two lovely eyes." In the English version, the piece became the first South African record to chart on the United States Billboard Top 100. Are you guys telling me that Lago Chorilanga was in the United States Billboard Top? What? This woman In 1957, Makeba was featured on the cover of Drum magazine. Rightly so. The American singer Harry Belafonte met Makeba in London and adopted her as his protege. In 1959, Makeba sang the lead female role in the Broadway-inspired South African jazz opera King Kong. Wow! Among those in the cast was the musician Hugh Masekela. The musical was performed to racially integrated audiences, raising her profile among white South Africans. Also, in 1959, she had a short guest appearance in Come Back Africa, an anti-apartheid film produced and directed by the American independent filmmaker Lionel Rojosin. I hope I said his name right. Rojosin cast her after seeing her on stage in African jazz and variety shows, on which Makeba was a performer for 18 months. The film blended elements of documentary and fiction and had to be filmed in secret as the government was expected to be hostile to it. Makeba appeared on stage and sang 2 songs. Her appearance lasted 4 minutes. The cameo made an enormous impression on viewers, and Rojo Sin organized a visa for her to attend the premiere of the film at the 24th Venice Film Festival in Italy, where the film won the prestigious Critics' Choice Awards. Wow. You see, guys, we just need one person that's going to open doors for you, and that's just it. You just need one. Makeba's presence has been described as a crucial to the film, as an emblem of cosmopolitan Black identity that also connected with working class Black people due to the dialogue being in Zulu. Makeba's role in Comeback Africa brought her international recognition, and she traveled to London and New York to perform. In London, she met the American singer Harry Belafonte, who became her mentor, helping her with her first solo recordings. These included Pata Pata. Guys, do you know Pata Pata? Nancy Pata Pata Sakukuka Sakela. Okay. I hope you know it, which would be released many years later in a version of the traditional Xhosa song Qongqothwane, which she had first performed with the Skylarks, though Pata Pata, described by Musician magazine as a groundbreaking Afro-pop gem, became her most famous song. Makeba described it as one of the most insignificant songs. While in England, guys, I when I was watching the documentary, she actually found the song meaningless, and she was like, she doesn't understand, but people love the song, so she kind of like felt obligated, like, okay, I will perform it because it is the people's favorite, but it is the most meaningless song. And I think it's because she came from that apartheid era, so she wanted to pass the message of the struggle of South Africa, and I think that was the motive for her. So this song was kind of like a distraction because it was a groove song, and it's about, you know, dancing and grooving and touching each other, because that's what Pata Pata means anyway. While in English, she married Soni Pillai, the second husband. Come on now, girl, you got a second one. I haven't even got on the first husband, and she's already on the second one. A South African ballad singer of Indian descent. They divorced within a few months. Makeba then moved to New York, making her US music debut on 1st November 1959. I'm sorry, guys. It's at night at about 11 on the Steve Allen Show in Los Angeles for a television audience of 60 million. Her New York debut at the Village Vanguard occurred soon after. She sang in Xhosa and Zulu and performed in Yiddish folk song. Her audience at the concert included Miles Davis and Duke Ellington. Her performance received strongly positive reviews from critics. She first came to popular and critical attention in jazz clubs after her reputation grew rapidly. Belafonte, who had helped Makeba with her move to the US, handled the logistics for her first performance. When she first moved to the US, Makeba lived in Greenwich Village along with other musicians and actors. If you're from that place, holla at the comments, ne? As was common in her profession, she experienced some financial insecurities and worked as a babysitter for a period. Now, breakthrough. I always wanted to leave home. I never knew they were going to stop me from coming back. Maybe if I knew, I never would have left. It is kind of a painful to be away from everything that I've ever known. Nobody will know the pain of exile until you are in exile. No matter where you go, there are times when people show you kindness and love, and there are times when they make you know that you are with them, but not of them. That's when it hurts. End quote. Soon after the Sharpeville massacre in 1960, Makeba learned that her mother had died. Oh, God. And she sang a song for her mother. Goodbye, mother. Goodbye, father. Goodbye, little baby. Oh my God, that song is so soulful. I just loved it, guys. You can tell I just love her songs, okay? And I can sing them, so that's why I'm showing. Oh, forgive me. Anywho, Makeba learned that her mother had died. When she tried to return home for the funeral, she found that her South African passport had been cancelled. Two of Makeba's family members were killed in the massacre. The incident left her concerned about her family, many of whom were still in South Africa, including her daughter. The 9-year-old Bongi joined her mother in the US in August 1960. During her first few years in the US, Makeba had rarely sung explicitly political music, but her popularity had led to an increase in the awareness of apartheid and apartheid movement. And by the way, she never considered herself as political. She just sang about her experience in South Africa, but the government called her political. Following the Sharpeville killings, Makeba felt a responsibility to help, as she had been able to leave the country while others had not. From this point, she became an increasingly outspoken critic of apartheid and the white minority government. Before the massacre, she had taken care to avoid overly political statements in South Africa. Her musical career in the US continued to flourish. She signed a record contract with RCA Victor and released Miriam Makeba, her first studio album in 1960, backed by Belafonte's band. This man was so helpful to her. RCA Victor chose to buy out Makeba's contract with Galantone Records, and despite the fact that Makeba was unable to perform in South Africa, Galantone received about 45,000 US dollars in the deal. I'm guessing that was a lot in those days, which meant that Makeba received no royalties for her debut album. This is sad. The album included one of her most famous hits in the US, Qongqothwane, which was known in English as the Click song because Makeba audiences could not pronounce the Xhosa name. Time magazine called her the most exciting new singing talent to appear in many years, and Newsweek compared her voice to the smoky tones and delicate phrases of Ellen Fitzgerald and the intimate warmth of Frank Sinatra. The album was not commercially successful, and Makeba was briefly dropped from RCA Victor. She was resigned soon after, as the label recognized the commercial possibility of growing interest in South African culture. Her South African identity had been downplayed during her first signing, but it was strongly emphasized the second time. To take advantage of this interest, Makeba made several appearances on television, often in the company of Belafonte. In 1962, Makeba and Belafonte sang at the birthday party of the US President John F. Kennedy, you go girl, at Madison Square Garden, but Makeba did not go to the party afterwards because she was ill. Kennedy nevertheless insisted on meeting her. You go girl. So Belafonte sent a car to pick her up. In 1964, Makeba released her second studio album for RCA Victor, The World of Miriam Makeba, an early example of world music. The album peaked at number 886 on the Billboard 200. Makeba's music had a cross-racial appeal in the US. White Americans were attracted to her image as an exotic African performer, and Black Americans related their own experience of racial segregation to Makeba's struggles against apartheid. Makeba found company among other Africans exiled in New York, including Hugh Masekela, to whom she was married to from 1963 to 1968. Third husband, Miriam, you go girl. During her marriage, Makeba and Masekela were neighbors of the jazz musician Dizzy Gillespie in Glenwood. I am going to do a breakdown on Hugh Masekela because also he's one of the legends here in South Africa. Throughout the 60s, Makeba strengthened her involvement with a range of black-centered political movement, including the civil rights, anti-apartheid, black consciousness, and the Black Power movement. She briefly met Trinidadian American activist Stokely Carmichael, the leader of the Student Nonviolent, according to committee and prominent figure in the Black Panther Party, after Belafonte invited him to one of the Makeba's concerts. They met again in Kennedy 6 years later. They entered a relationship initially kept secret from all but close friends and family. Makeba participated in fundraising activities for various civil rights groups. She did a lot, guys. I cannot name everything that this lady did, but she ended up marrying a guy from the Black Panthers, and she lost the support of white Americans. She continued to perform in Europe, Asia, along with her African concerts, but none in the US, where De facto boycott was in effect. Her performances in Africa were immensely popular. She was described as the highlight of the Festex 77 and a Pan-African Arts Festival in Nigeria in 1977. Guys, there's so much. That's why I'm saying she deserves like to have a movie. Makeba's second biography, Makeba, the Miriam Makeba story, was published in 2004, and in 2005 she announced that she would retire and begin a farewell tour. But despite having osteoarthritis, continued to perform until her death. During this period, her grandchild Nelson Lumumba Lee and Zenzi Lee and her great-grandchild Lindelani occasionally joined her performances. And on the 9th of November 2008, Makeba fell ill during a concert in Castel Volturno near Caserta, Italy. The concert had been organized to support the writer Roberto Savano in his stand against the Camorra, a criminal organization active in the Campania region. She suffered a heart attack after singing her hit song Pata Pata and was taken to the Peneta Grand Clinic, where doctors were unable to revive her. And that's how she died. Makeba had been credited with popularizing world music along with artists such as Yuso and Duo. Guys, I can't pronounce this name correctly. So she said to her granddaughter that she didn't want to be buried. She wanted to be cremated, and she wanted her ashes to be scattered where the seas or the oceans meet, because she was unable to attend her daughter. So she wanted to find her daughter. Oh gosh, this is so just emotional. She wanted to find her daughter and her father. So she wanted to float and fly. She didn't want to be stuck underground. And they honored her wishes, obviously. And that's the story of Miriam Makeba. She done so many things for South Africans, for Africa, for inclusion. She spoke in the UN also. I mean, this lady was brave, and she spoke against the anti-apartheid the apartheid government during that time. And that's the time when she was exiled, and she was exiled for 30 years. How crazy is that? I mean, people that have lived in that time, they've lived a harsh life. Imagine being taken away from her country. And you know what? Because I'm crazy like that, I did a small skit on, I'm gonna post it on my TikTok, and my TikTok is the same name, Katlehong. And because I wanted to market this video and I want you guys to watch it, share it, guys. I mean, there's so many people out there who love this lady Miriam Makeba, and I would love for them to see. Comment below, what do you know of her? And her backup singers are famous people even now in South Africa. Like, they're incredible artists. I mean, she was working with prodigies. I mean, she was working with icons. This woman, and Huma Sigela said that she was one of the best dressed women in Africa. Can you imagine that? Like, she wore high heels, her dresses on stage. My goodness, this lady's fashion style was like off the top. Like, her dress, her figure, you know, her dukes. She liked to wear her hair natural. I mean, I can understand that, because Hugh Masekela, I've read a quote of Hugh Masekela saying that she would not speak to ladies that wear weaves, I think braids. I mean, today's world, she'll probably be ignoring a lot of us, because a lot of African ladies, we are wearing wigs. I'm not really wearing a wig, but most of us are wearing wigs, okay, for protective hairstyles, and because maybe they may not like their hair so much. And it makes sense, because Miriam was wearing her hair natural. Her hair was short. She was so calm. Even when she was speaking about something so painful and so gruesome, she already had a smile on her face. She was polite. She took her time when she spoke. She was elegant. On stage, oh my gosh, she was so sensual, but in a tasteful manner, not like vulgar sexual, like you, and like in a way that is cringy and you want to look away. Like, you enjoy the way she moves, the way she turns around, and you know, like, oh my god, even at are you just like, oh my god, this woman she was so poised, she was so beautiful. I mean, oh my god, she was not so much of a dancer, but I enjoyed her dancing on stage. She was just so phenomenal, guys. So, and that is all about this video. And and one thing, she always, I mean, singers do this, or musicians do this when they're on stage, and they introduce everyone, you know, their band, and know everyone by name. But the way she did it, man, it was so graceful. It's like she wanted everyone to have their moment, and she was so lovely, so loving. And she was singing not just with, you know, people of her skin color. She was singing with Caucasians, and, you know, she faced so many discriminations. You know, people would persecute her for singing with Caucasians, but she was not about that discrimination. I love her so much, guys. There's so much to say about her, but there's not enough time. So comment below for my Africans and others that know her, okay? And let's leave her flowers. I mean, what a woman. Thank you guys for listening.
Was born in Johannesburg. She was the first of the great singers from her country to bring South African music to the world. They call her Mama Africa, the queen of South African music, Miriam Makeba.
Crying, the fathers were working in the city. The evening news brought out all the publicity. Just a little atrocity deep in the city. Somewhere to blue. Somewhere to blues, somewhere to blues, somewhere to blues.
My name happens to be Zenzi Makeba Katlehong ngudlawo nguvama iketile nengxawa. Bantwana balomzi xa ufuna ubadyabulisa ubathengela ibhotile yotywala, sithi xa sawugqiba utya sithathe izitya sizikhabe, sivuke ngomso sizichole. Ezo zingakhoyo zingabikho njalo, singamalawu, singamanenekazi, singamagqashu, singamanqamlanqi.